role of a Member of Parliament in the federal territory, whether it's Lembah Pantai or Batu or even Titiwangsa, is made more complex by virtue of the ongoing dynamics between elected representatives, which is myself, and appointed representatives, which are from the mayor to his officers to the various the BKL high-ranking officials. So certainly, most of the things we'd like to do, we'd like to really ensure services are improved, enforcement is balanced with the current needs, current economic needs. But we are still at the mercy of the BKL officials. We're at the mercy of the various legislation and structure that exists. I'll give you an example. If we have issues where people have been fined, whether parking area, etc. I mean, it's still we can do our part as a pressure point, a pressure group, but it still depends on the BKL before they complete or they assist us with anything. And we also, Kuala Lumpur is denied a state government. In 1974, when it was created a federal territory annexed from Selangor, usually you take the model of either Canberra, Australia, or Washington DC. So at least you have a state government, ministers, etc. for KL, because the budget is the second highest budget in Malaysia. But unfortunately, we're denied a lot of things as a person living in Kuala Lumpur. Well, of course, there are various avenues where you can bring up issues, but so far, my demands for greater transparency, for example, in the giving of housing, I always ask that the BKL displays the list of those being given units, because at the end of the day, you want to make sure people have a sense that no political involvement, no political link is affecting how houses or units are being given. Unfortunately, this request has not been fulfilled, and is still very much done at the whim and fancies of the BKL. So we cannot track. There's no way to track. What are the at least basic requirements before a person or family is given housing. This is a basic, because if you look at the HDB system in Singapore, at the very least, there's a certain sense of consistency. So people can rely, after 5 years of applying, maybe 2, but you can get housing. But when you have suddenly, there's no consistency, there's no rule of thumb, then it's open to abuse. I also would like to mention that with regards to the Minister of Federal Territories, a lot of my work trying to deliver assistance, whether Ramadan goodies, even on Sunday, they use government institutions and agencies like Jawi to block me from even entering the mosque, to organize and have a non-political event. So I think it's very unfortunate that the people are made to suffer, because if you disagree politically, or you want to even bar the move of some political opponents, there has to be some level of understanding, and not to blatantly use different institutions or agencies. And for me, time and again, whether it's permits during rallies, it really makes our work difficult. And of course, we're not disheartened, but again, it's come to this, and I think it's really does a disservice to our democracy and democratic culture.
Speaking of crime, what is the crime rate now in Bangsa, especially in the Jalan Telawi areas?
Now, there's a bit conflicting statistics. I visited the whole stretch of Jalan Telawi, and again, there's so many, and it's not reflected in the official crime statistics. I brought up this issue in Parliament, whereby in 2007-2008, there were some discrepancies between the statements made by the Deputy OCPD and the Timbalan Ketua Polis Kuala Lumpur. So they said crime had reduced, but with different percentages. So in Parliament, this question wasn't answered. They said they blamed it on Bernama. So I would say, in England, in the UK, they have an independent statistical department that monitors criminal activities related to gun, related to knife, etc. But it's clear that it's independent, because once you have the statistics and the tracking of statistics under the police department or the home ministry, then certainly, knowing how Malaysian government works, it's open to abuse. That's why it's, I don't want to say outright, and I don't have proof with me, but certainly residents, everyday residents don't feel that crime has reduced significantly. And you have to address these needs. If you talk about rakyat didahulukan, you want to prioritize the people, then they don't feel safe. There's so many retirees in Bangsa, and there's always that looming threat when you're jogging, you're walking. Pondok Polis.
That's one Telawi.
Yeah, beside Bangsa Village. It's like there for fun, like a useless ornament. Because honestly, you expect it to deter some potential snatch thieves, not to mention jockeys, illegal jockeys. But it doesn't seem to be deterring anyone. And I certainly feel, it's people really, like you mentioned, have lost faith in the police force. And sometimes I feel it's also frustrating for us, because I will say, why don't you lodge a police report? And then they'll ask, are you supporting the police? I said, no, but as a responsible member of parliament, as a responsible citizen, I would definitely give the right suggestion. And for it to be, for me to say, just forget about the police, etc. So we try to do our part, but again, it's just really we're in a terrible state, and you just take into account. At the end of the day, residents have to pay. For example, Taman Bangsa, they end up having to acquire the services of a gated community, gated guards, and you have to pay extra for that. For me, it's also an additional tax to ensure your home is safe and secured. Even in Lucky Garden, I had a family day Dr. Devanan organised last year, and every small lane has to have a security, and after that, crime dropped to the 0%. Nothing was happening. Yeah, once you have a guard at every small lane, and it was just, is this what we've become like this? Well, what can you do? What choice are they left with? See you also raising issues that affect them, because what is the function of a member of parliament? You really need to understand what the people need and what the people expect from you, and try to do your best in bringing up issues affecting them. I'm really happy that Little India, whatever it is, we've had so much support from the people there, and I think for me, I'm a Malay, I'm a Muslim, but I really want to see or do my best for residents of Brickfield. And I've learned so much. I don't know how to say it, because in Keadilan, we practice multiculturalism from the grassroots level every single day. Like I know for fasting month, it's going to have an Indian ceremony. I have to go to the various same temples, and it's like a sure thing. Sure, I'll be fasting then, but it's no problem, because you're conditioned and you're used to it. So I was really happy also, because even Little India, I think the Indians there are seeing that when I go there, I'm not representing just my particular race. I'm representing everyone in Lembah Pantai, and we really cut away and attack the racial rhetorics, etc. So I don't know. These small successes, for me, is a success. For me, just being able to bring up the issues, being able to maybe just improve the way the government views it. Even just be that annoying voice that criticizes the government, and able for them to make them improve their services is something of an achievement. So I not to say I'm not worried, but I think those who have been utilizing unfair means and practices should be the ones who are worried.